Hey everyone, it's Kale from Scud Style, and today I wanted to do a little bit of a video about a concept that has been immensely helpful for me over the years, and I think it goes hand in hand with talking about mindset and how a lot of the times how we experience the world is done through our own filter and done through our own set of rigorous or not so rigorous standards, and how a lot of times we can be really hard on ourselves, and how our interactions with the events around us generally dictate our state of being more so than what actually happens itself. I'm going to be talking about a concept from Zen and the Art of Happiness by Chris Prentice. Got this book a handful of years ago, and the overarching concept of this book can be distilled down to basically one mantra, one ideal, which is everything that happens to you is the best possible thing that can happen to you. I'll say that one more time. Everything that happens to you is the best possible thing that can happen to you. So it is inevitable in life that we run into roadblocks, we run into obstacles, problems, difficulties, hardships. That's inevitable. And many of those are brought on by our own stubbornness or our own creation of those things being problems. You know, we can frame something in a very negative way and it becomes a problem where before it was just a situation or even an opportunity, right? But beyond that, beyond just attracting those things to, to our present situation, beyond creating them or shaping them through our worldview, our mindset, our attitude, by looking at them as the best possible thing that could happen to you, it transforms any type of personal responsibility that we have to the negative aspect of that. For instance, if we create a problem or something bad happens and we say, oh, if only I had done this, if only this person hadn't done that, if only I had decided or made this choice or had done this differently, that wouldn't have happened and everything would have been great. First of all, from my perspective, I've long since surrendered to the idea that we can't predict the future. You can't interject different events and say, had this not happened, this would have happened, because every single thing that goes differently changes the course of history. I truly believe that, and I think it's a very comforting thing, because you can't go back and play things over in your mind and say, hey, if I had just said this, that person would have reacted this way and this event would have completely changed. It's impossible to say that. There are too many moving variables, and so it's a very liberating idea when you can surrender to happiness, surrender to the idea of, hey, everything that happens to me is the best possible thing that happens to me. Living from that framework, sometimes you're going through the hard stuff. Sometimes things are happening. It feels like everything's going wrong, right? And you can't see forward. You can only see backwards. So sometimes we tend to look at that backwards with regret and self-inflicted pain and pity and remorse and all these different types of things. And that can shape our future experiences of such type things and prevent it from being an opportunity to move forward. So these are all things that I've reflected upon and I've experienced in just years of reflecting upon this concept since I bought this book back in 2018. And so I just want to read a quick excerpt from it that kind of encapsulates the idea, and then I want to expand on it a little bit. But basically, like I said, the encapsulation of the book in my interpretation is everything that happens to you is the best possible thing that can happen to you, right? So first, answer truthfully the following question. Would I want this to be true? Every event that befalls me is absolutely the best possible event that could occur. The second, more difficult part is to truthfully answer the question, will I give that a chance to be true? Right? Because it's kind of like a big lofty thing. Say, oh, that's crap. It's not real anyway, right? There's the acceptance of the idea. There's the idea, and then there's the acceptance of the idea, right? That bridge is crucial. Imagine that God appeared before you this instant and said, I promise you that everything that happens to you from this moment forward will be of the greatest benefit to you and will bring you the utmost good fortune. Suppose God went on to say, even though what happens will sometimes appear unfortunate or hurtful, in the end, your life will be wonderfully blessed and hugely benefited by whatever happens. How would you feel about that wonderful news? Happy? Perhaps even joyful? Wouldn't it be the best piece of news you could hear? Wouldn't you heave a deep sigh of relief and feel as if a great burden had been lifted from your shoulders? Wouldn't you then respond to the next thing that happened, even if it was hurtful, or took something from you or seemed bad or unlucky, as though it was going to be wonderfully beneficial for you, the best possible thing that could have happened? Let's just think about that passage for a second, because it goes on to say, if you did not enthusiastically answer yes, perhaps you have mistaken what I am talking about in the above paragraph. I am not talking about the phrase we commonly hear, try to make the best of it, which means the situation or the event really is bad and terribly unlucky, but do what you can to salvage some good out of it. Nor do I mean that within even the worst event possible there can be found a tiny bit of good. I am not thinking in terms of limiting ideas. I am thinking in unlimited terms, where every event that befalls you is absolutely the best possible event that could occur, and there is no other event imaginable that could benefit you to any greater degree. Because if you start to act, skipping ahead a little bit, you start to act in accord with that belief, as a result of natural law, you will bring about that end and lead to a lifetime spent in the sunshine of happiness. So this is a really great book. That was just a page of it, right? But I really want to highlight that passage because, as I said earlier, there's the belief of the thing, and then there's the making the bridge to the actual acceptance of that belief, the embodiment of that belief, the living that way. Wouldn't it unburden you immensely? Wouldn't you take away all the self-inflicted pain, all the regret, right? Anytime anything goes wrong, something we're planning, maybe we're building a habit, doesn't go super smoothly, with every iteration and every indication and every attempt to level up your life, personal development, everything else. There's always bumps. Relationships, there's always bumps, right? We're all growing, we're all evolving. But those bumps, do they have to be such negative things? Aren't they opportunities for growth? Aren't they, stepping stones towards things? So if you can really embrace this idea, as I've really practiced to do, it really is transformative. So I just really wanted to discuss a little bit today about surrendering to happiness. If everything that happens to you is the best possible thing that could happen to you, why wouldn't you surrender to that? Why would you try to fix or control or change or dictate or manipulate the future? Doesn't mean don't do anything, doesn't mean don't try, right? But it's the mindset of how we react to the things that happen to us shape everything. Later on in the book, it goes to say, stress comes from the way you relate to events or situations. Sound familiar? It should, because it's the same formula as the one for happiness. Neither stress nor happiness is contained in the things, events, or situations. Things are just things, events are merely events, situations are only situations. It's up to you to supply your reaction to them. You get to choose. So, again, it isn't the type of mindset you're just giving up, you're not trying. It's that how we react to things, our view and our mindset on things, transforms what those things are. And from there, it transforms our lives. So, I highly recommend this book. If not, I just highly recommend playing around with this concept, seeing how it makes you feel. Zen and the Art of Happiness. I like to call this concept surrendering to happiness. Stop trying to control everything, dictate everything, beat everything up. Surrender to it. Everything that happens to you is the best possible thing that happens to you. So let it be. And let it be. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.